What's going on, guys? Rezagun here. So today is time for a pickup, and I gotta admit, I'm really excited for this one. So I picked up some really great stuff, and I think you're really gonna like it. So yeah, let's take a look. I picked up, some GameCube. I also picked up a couple of older stuff, and one really nice item that I think you're really gonna like. Okay. So starting things off, it's a game that I also have for the Nintendo, the regular NES, and that is Double Dragon for the Sega Master System. Yeah, the label's a little bit torn up, but I'm not too worried about that. When it comes to the Sega Master System games, I don't care that much. Like, these, they're super cheap to replace, and it's not like, with the official art on like NES or Super Nintendo games where I feel a little bit more uncomfortable replacing the label. With this, I have no problem. So, that's pretty cool. Next up, we've actually got 8 Eyes for the NES. This is one of the games I was talking about in the in my little tour video of like all the other game stores, which I apologize for the editing at the end of what all I picked up. Something happened with my editor and it just got real messed up. I've since switched to a new one, so I'd say with the last video you could tell that was a bit higher quality and everything. So I'm hoping that from here on out the videos will be a lot better. But I picked this up for $8, and there's actually, you'll notice the big sticker. There's 2 stickers, one from Game Exchange and the one from the other one. The sticker is actually from another retro game store that used to be around called Entertainment Shack. It was down in Horse Cave, Kentucky. It's since closed down, sadly, and that really sucks. But it was a really great store. I really liked it. So whenever I saw that sticker, I was like, okay, I'll pick this version up. Even though the sticker's going to be taken off. So, still cool though. So next up, we've got 8 GameCube games. Most of these are really awesome titles. There's a couple super cheapies in here, but for the most part, you're really going to like what all I got. So let's get started. So, starting things off, to be fair, I don't think, this is the only one that I got from Game Exchange, but it's a good one. That's Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. Really happy with it. Came nice and complete, obviously. Still have the receipt in there. This is one of the ones that I said, just wasn't fitting for what all was in the case at Game Exchange. But I took another look, and I saw it again, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to grab that one. It's complete. I love the packaging for it. I mean, it's an awesome game. So I'm super excited to play this. Really can't wait. Really nice. So next up, again, you'll notice that there are a couple of real cheap titles that aren't really that great in this one. But still decent, We've actually got Crash Nitro Kart. This is a game that I'm somewhat familiar with. I played like CTR Racing on the PlayStation originally. That's what this looks like, so I'm excited to play it, but at the same time, it's like the older Crash games got the worst they also got. So it's like, we'll see, But still excited. Glad to have it in the collection. Just got to get those numbers up. Next up is actually a game that I am familiar with a decent amount. It was something that I did play a little bit back in the day, and I also got to play it again whenever I went to college for a bit. And that's SSX 3. Really awesome series in general. I remember the snowboarding one the best, just because for whatever reason snowboarding games are ones that I played the most. I don't know why. But very happy, came extra complete, had all the paperwork. Super cheap, super fun, really awesome, glad to have it. So next up is a game I technically had, but I didn't have case or manual for, and it's a super cheap game, so I didn't mind buying it again. And that is Wave Race Blue Storm. The original Wave Race on N64, I really did like. This one I haven't gotten to play yet, but I'm still excited for it, I know that some people don't really like it as much as the original, but still, really awesome game, Very excited to have it. Super cheap, so even if it's a dud, like, I know a lot of the GameCube games I will end up getting will be. Like that super rare Mary-Kate and Ashley Sweet 16. That's gonna be a bad one. But what do you expect? So now we're actually getting to my most recent pickups. I actually picked these up yesterday. Really, really good selection that I got. I think you're really gonna like these ones. Starting things off, we actually got WarioWare Inc. The WarioWare series, I did play a bit whenever it was on Game Boy. But that was really it. I wasn't the most familiar with the series, but I do know it was a lot of fun. You know, it was always on display in the electronics section of Walmart where you could actually play the consoles back whenever that was more of a thing. But, you know, really fun series. Can't wait to play it. I know it's a really fun game. So, I mean, super excited. Next up, we've actually got a really fun RPG game, in my opinion. And that's actually Tales of Symphonia. A bit of a cheaper RPG, really, for the GameCube, but still really awesome. Still super excited to have it. Really can't wait to play some of this. Looks really awesome. I booted it up, and like all you see is just this beautiful animation sequence. It's like, oh, I'm just super excited. It is one of those games that have 2 discs, so if you do pick this up, make sure it does have both discs. Otherwise, you're just going to be SOL, and nobody likes that. Next up, this one was a bit more of an expensive GameCube game. Just a bit more, just because of what it is, you know. And that's Mario Party 5. About $40. Not the most happy, but not bad, really. The Mario Party series in general, I am familiar with. You know, like, GameCube ones, I actually missed out on back in the day, and I'm really curious to play these. Because I played the original N64 ones, I played the Wii version, I think that was 8. And then, like, that's pretty much been it. The Mario Party series, I never had the biggest interest in, just because it's Mario Party, you know? Still fun, I just never had an interest. But, still, really awesome mainstream title to add to the collection, very happy. Now for the last of the GameCube games, it's nothing special, but I still think it's a really good game, and that's Battalion Wars. For those of you that don't know, there was a Game Boy game called Advanced Wars. That's what this was supposed to be, is like a direct sequel to that, pretty much. But they ended up changing it because it was so different from Advanced Wars. But, still a really awesome game. Still really fun. The only problem with it that I've found is that it's only 1 player. But still, you know, if you're like me, you don't really have many friends coming over, because I'm a lonely sucker, then you'll be fine. You'll enjoy yourself. But really awesome, really glad to have it. Now lastly, for the GameCube stuff, it's nothing very special. It's just a few manuals that I picked up. And I mean, they're nothing rare or anything like that. I just wanted to start grabbing some extra manuals in case, you know, I find, you know, one of these games and it doesn't have its manual. I could just be like, okay, let me go into the system, plop it in the case, and I'm good to go, you know. So, I mean, I picked up Street, Minority Report, Legends of Wrestling, and Rogue Leader Rogue Squadron 2. Really good game. Oh, my bad. And Tak, the Staff of Dreams. Yes. Tak series is also pretty fun in my opinion, at least on GameCube. But still really cool. You know, these will probably just go somewhere for the moment until I either get the games or I just don't need these anymore. So, we'll see. Really glad to have them at least. So lastly, is actually something that I'm super happy to have gotten. This is something that I've been kind of looking for, not really, for the most part. But it's a system. It's one that I didn't have, and whenever I saw it come in, I was super happy. So, I happened to pick up a boxed Sega Dreamcast, the Black Sports Edition. Now, this isn't complete, but the fact that I got the box alone, with the controller, with the system look super minty, I couldn't have been happier. So let me explain. This actually came into my local game exchange. The guy brought in a big old box of stuff. He had this, a PlayStation, several Super Nintendo games. I didn't get to stick around to really see what those were, but I was mainly interested in this. The guy that was at the counter started pulling it out, really looking at it, and he was like, ooh, this looks really good. Hooked it up, made sure it worked. It did, thankfully. And he looked at the system, and it turns out they don't give a different price for the black one. Like, I realize it's not the biggest difference, but it's still a difference. It's like a difference of $20 compared to what they sell the original at. Because this goes, I think, for $88 on price charting. And then the regular one they sell for about $55 to $60, depending on where you go. And they were only going off from like $20. So I took advantage of the situation. I said, so What are you looking to get rid of that for? And the guy, as soon as he heard that, he was like, I knew you were going to ask, because whenever he brought it in, I was like, I need it. So he was just waiting. He was waiting on me. So once he turned down that offer, I offered him, a decent price. I paid, about $50. And with the box alone, I'm happy with that. Because, I saved about $30 just for a loose console, and then, almost almost $50 for a complete unboxed one. I am missing the games for it, but I'm not too worried about that, because they're super common and they're super cheap. I think they sold them for like $4 there. I just didn't grab them. But I know what you're waiting on. You want to actually take a look at this thing. So let's do that. So what came in the box, it's like I said, it wasn't complete, but it had everything it needed. And one of the things that I first saw get pulled out was the white controller. When I saw this, I just went, oh no. He said, don't worry, everything's in there. I was like, oh boy. And that's where the black one came out. And let me tell you, I'm happy about that. The fact that it has its controller made me super happy. The main reason why I didn't want to get a white one is because you can just take a look at that one and see that it looks horrible. It's still going to get cleaned up, I'm still going to keep it, but it needs a serious cleaning. Maybe I'll do that for another video, just like I did my Wavebird. If you haven't seen that video, by the way, go check it out. I'll leave a link in the description. I'll also put a little tab up top if possible. I'm not sure how to do that on my phone, but we'll see. But yeah, the black one just looks super clean though. I don't know why. But I'm not complaining. It did also include some memory, but it wasn't an official VMU. It was like one of the third-party ones. Still really neat. I'm glad I at least came with that, so I can at least play the games I did buy for it, which I'll show after everything. But I'm going to get a matching one at some point. Get a black VMU to put in this, and it's just going to look sexy. So the game I actually picked up for it was Evolution. This is a game that's also on the GameCube that I have. But I wanted to get this one because I at least knew I was familiar with it, and it wasn't super expensive. So I said, yeah, why not? Because some of the other games they had were a little bit more pricey for the more popular titles. They did have Sonic Adventure 2 there, and I thought about it, but I decided against it because it was a little out of the price range that I'd already paid for that day. So I won't lie, it's been a good deal on everything in one day, Some things, yeah, I got a little earlier, but for the Dreamcast and a few of the GameCube games, that was a bad receipt. But yeah, I wanted to pick something up that I knew I was familiar with, that I knew I liked, so I picked up Evolution, For $10, why not? And lastly was the thing that I was super excited to get. The Black Sega Dreamcast. And let me tell you, it is glorious. Like, if anything, there's maybe a couple scuffs here and there, but this is super clean compared to what I've seen. Here, I'll actually show you a bit. So as you can see, there's like some small scuffs, but overall, that is beautiful. Now, whenever I first booted it up, I was just blown away. I also hooked it up to my HD TV in the living room, which you saw me do with my GameCube before, which that's actually got an HDMI converter in it. But I hooked this up, and it didn't look bad. I was very surprised. It honestly looked really crisp, really clean. I was genuinely surprised with just the AV cables. I thought it was going to look a lot more blurry, but it really didn't. So yeah. So what was neat about this one is it actually came with the modem adapter. Because starting things off, some of the Dreamcast didn't have it, but this one does. It's already hooked in. That makes me super happy. Couldn't be happier with this purchase. I really couldn't. I don't plan on doing any mods to it, I don't think. Maybe in the future. I haven't fully decided. I might just leave this stock. But if anything, I might buy a second one just to have that region modded. Just that way I can leave this as stock as possible with its box, with its controller, and get everything else to complete it. It's like I said, I do need the paperwork for it, and I do want to get a black VMU at least to match it. But I am very happy with what I got. I think I got a really good deal on it. So this is actually going to go over here. You'll see this get all cleaned up eventually for sure. I'm actually going to be working on that today as well. Probably not the organization here, but just the room in general. That's got to wait until I could get a few things for it. But definitely couldn't be happier.
That nasty. Fix that. Check. Good enough. Again. Good job.